Naval warfare refers to military conflicts in which two or more naval powers face each other on the seas or oceans. These conflicts are usually fought using warships, submarines, aircraft carriers, and other naval vessels. Naval wars have created important strategic and tactical moments throughout history and have shaped international relations. These wars are of great importance in terms of geographical dominance and economy. The history of naval warfare dates back to before Christ. In this video, we are going to take a look at the 10 biggest naval battles in history. Number 10. Battle of Salamis. The Battle of Salamis was a naval battle fought in 480 BC between an alliance of Greek city-states led by Themistocles and the Persian Empire led by King Xerxes. It resulted in a decisive victory for the outnumbered Greeks. The battle was fought in the Saronic Gulf near Athens, in the strait between the mainland and the island of Salamis, and marked the climax of the Persian Empire's second invasion of Greece. This battle changed the balance of power between ancient Greece and the Persian Empire and played an important role in the development of Western civilization. In the battle, 200 Persian warships were sunk or captured. Following this defeat, King Serhazai of Persia retreated to Asia with most of his army. He left an army of his elite troops on the European side under the command of General Mardonius, with orders to complete the invasion of Greece. However, the following year the Persian army was destroyed at the Battle of Plataea and the Persian navy at the Battle of Mycale. After these defeats, the Persian Empire made no further attempts to invade Greece. Number 9. Battle of Lepanto. The Battle of Lepanto was a naval battle fought on October 7, 1571 in the Gulf of Patras between the fleet of the Holy Alliance, a coalition of Catholic states organized by Pope Pius V, and the fleet of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was organizing an expedition to capture the Venetian island of Cyprus, but was soundly defeated by the fleet of the Holy Alliance. The battle marks the first significant victory of a Christian naval power over the Turkish fleet, and is the culmination of galley warfare in the Mediterranean. The Ottoman Empire suffered a major defeat in this battle and lost most of its fleet. The Crusader alliance won a major victory over the Ottoman Empire in this battle. As a result of this war, the naval power of the Ottoman Empire decreased. These results affected the balance of power between the Ottoman Empire and European states. Number 8. Battle of Jutland. The Battle of Jutland was a naval battle fought between the Grand Fleet of the Royal Navy of Great Britain and the High Seas Fleet of the German Empire between May 31st and June 1st, 1916 during the First World War. The main cause of the war was the rivalry over sea power and sea dominance. The British wanted to retain sovereignty at sea, while the Germans wanted to increase their naval power and hit the British maritime trade. This battle took place on the North Sea coast of Denmark's Jutland Peninsula. The Battle of Jutland was the largest naval battle of the First World War and the only full-scale armored ship engagement of the war. The Battle of Jutland is also known as the Battle of Skagerrak. The outcome of this battle was inconclusive, that is, either side won. However, both sides declared themselves winners. Germany for destroying or damaging more ships, Britain for maintaining control of the North Sea. In total, more than 20 ships were sunk in this battle. 3 battle cruisers, 3 armored cruisers and 8 destroyers were sunk by the United Kingdom. The German Empire sank 1 pre-dreadnought, 1 battle cruiser, 4 light cruisers and 5 torpedo ships. Number 7. Battle of Actium. The Battle of Actium was a naval battle fought on September 2, 31 BC between a naval fleet led by Octavian, later known as Augustus, under Marcus Agrippa and the combined fleets of Mark Antony and Cleopatra VII Philopator. The battle took place in the Ionian Sea, near the former Roman colony of Actium in Greece, and was the culmination of more than a decade of rivalry between Octavian and Antony. The outcome of the battle was a decisive victory for Octavian, making him the undisputed master of the Roman world. Overall, the Battle of Actium resulted in the decisive defeat of Antony and Cleopatra. Antony and Cleopatra were forced to retreat to Alexandria. This victory united the Roman Empire under a single government and signaled the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Octavian was crowned Roman Emperor Augustus after this victory and became the first emperor of the Roman Empire. Number 6. Battle of Trafalgar. The Battle of Trafalgar was a naval battle fought on October 21, 1805, during the War of the Third Coalition, August-December 1805, of the Napoleonic Wars, between the British Royal Navy and the combined fleets of the French and Spanish navies. As part of their plan to invade England, the French and Spanish fleets combined to take control of the English Channel and provide safe passage to the Grande Army. The Allied fleet, under the command of French Admiral Pierre-Charles Villeneuve, sailed from the southern Spanish port of Cadiz on October 18, 1805. They met the British fleet under Lord Nelson, which had recently assembled to meet this threat, in the Atlantic Ocean off Cape Trafalgar, off the southwest coast of Spain. The Battle of Trafalgar resulted in the victory of the British Royal Navy. The British fleet, under the British commander Admiral Lord Nelson, defeated the French and Spanish fleets. This victory marks the peak of British naval power and strengthened Britain's maritime dominance. Number 5. Battle of Tsushima. The Battle of Tsushima was the last naval battle of the Russo-Japanese War and took place in the Tsushima Strait on 27 to 28 May 1905. It was the only decisive engagement between modern steel battleship fleets and the first battle in which wireless telegraphy played a critical role. The battle was described by Sir George Clark as the largest and most important naval event since Trafalgar. After traveling 7 months and 18,000 nautical miles, 33,000 kilometers, across the Baltic Sea, the Russians hoped to reach Vladivostok and establish naval control in the Far East. The Russians were sighted in the early hours of May 27th, and the battle began in the afternoon. Admiral Rozhesvinsky was wounded and knocked unconscious in the first action, and 4 battleships were sunk by sunset. During the night, Japanese destroyers and torpedo boats attacked the remaining ships, and Admiral Nikolai Nebagatov surrendered on the morning of May 28. All 11 Russian battleships were lost, 7 were sunk and 4 captured. Only a few battleships managed to escape. 1 cruiser and 2 destroyers reached Vladivostok. The Battle of Tsushima marked the end of the Russo-Japanese War and ended the war in Japan's favor. Number 4. The Battle of Cape Madapan. The Battle of Cape Madapan was a naval battle fought on March 28, 1941 between the British Royal Navy and the Royal Italian Navy during World War II. The battle took place off Cape Madapan in southern Greece. The Battle of Cape Madapan was the largest naval battle in the Mediterranean and resulted in a decisive victory for the British Royal Navy. In this battle, the Royal Italian Navy lost 3 heavy cruisers and 2 destroyers, and thousands of sailors were killed or captured. The battle was fought between British and Allied forces and the Axis forces of Germany and Italy, with the results favoring the Allies. As a result of the battle, the British Mediterranean fleet achieved a significant victory over the Axis forces. The fleet, commanded by British Admiral Andrew Cunningham, clashed with Italian and German warships commanded by German Admiral Angelo Iachino. As a result of the battle, the British sank or damaged several Italian warships. Allied naval superiority was restored, and this strengthened the Allied ability to operate in the Mediterranean. The Battle of Cape Madapan was considered a turning point that ensured Allied supremacy on the Mediterranean front. Number 3. Anglo-Dutch Wars. The Anglo-Dutch Wars were a series of conflicts between the Dutch Republic and England that took place in the mid-17th and late 18th centuries. The first 3 wars took place in the second half of the 17th century due to disputes over trade and overseas colonies, with the 4th taking place a century later. Almost all wars were naval battles. These wars coincided with both the English and the Dutch turning to overseas profits to make profits in the New World. The British were successful in the First Anglo-Dutch War, while the Dutch were successful in the Second and Third. However, in the century between the Third and Fourth War, the British Royal Navy had become the most powerful naval force in the world. The war ended with Britain's Royal Navy controlling these seas and establishing a monopoly on trade with the British colonies. Number 2. Falklands War. The Falklands War was a 10-week war fought in 1982 between Argentina and the United Kingdom. This war took place over 2 British dependent territories in the South Atlantic, the Falkland Islands and its territorial dependencies, South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. The conflict began when Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands on April 2nd and occupied South Georgia the next day. On April 5th, the British government sent a naval task force to engage the Argentine Navy and Air Force. The conflict lasted 74 days and ended on June 14th with the surrender of Argentina, returning the islands to British control. In total, 649 Argentine military personnel, 255 British military personnel and 3 Falkland Islanders were killed during the conflict. The conflict was an important chapter in the ongoing dispute over the sovereignty of the territory. Argentina claimed and continues to claim that the islands are Argentine territory. Number 1. Battle of Midway. The Battle of Midway was a major naval battle on the Pacific front of World War II, which took place between the 4th and the 7th of June 1942. It took place 6 months after the Imperial Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor and 1 month after the Battle of the Coral Sea. This battle caused great damage to the Japanese fleet. Japanese losses at Midway made it possible for America's Navy to regain naval supremacy in the Pacific theater. Naval aviation proved to be a valid and necessary capability to win wars. The expansion of the Japanese Empire was halted and a center point of protection for Allied forces in the Pacific was secured. The Battle of Midway effectively changed the course of World War II on the Pacific front. Military historian John Keegan described this battle as the most striking and decisive blow in the history of naval warfare.